everyone, today you will hear an interesting story. We have been married nearly 4 years and together for nearly 8. We have a 1-year-old daughter together. Our relationship was becoming distant, and my wife stopped sharing things with me and would never initiate physical contact. I think I first noticed this about 10 to 12 months ago. I thought it was down to stress, and she has a tough time with the baby, postnatal depression, and medication. I did talk to her, and raised my concerns, and she said she would work on our communication. It got fractionally better for a while and got worse again. At this point, I felt I didn't have anyone to go to, other than my wife, and I didn't discuss it with anyone else at all. I brought it up again. However, this time, it was in more of an argument, and it ended the same as before. I'd noticed that my wife was becoming more absent and detached from the relationship, and I asked her if she still wanted to be in it, and she said she loved me and did want to remain. In our discussions and arguments, she stonewalled me. This had been the case for a while. In the past month or so, I have had niggling feelings that something might have been going on. This was mainly based on my intuition rather than anything else. I was considering unlocking her phone, following her, or putting a tracker on her car, but I decided not to as it was an invasion of her privacy and essentially wrong. Then I saw a message on my wife's phone asking if she was free for a call. It was from her male best friend. I was with her the rest of the evening, and she didn't make any calls. I then realized that this was probably a regular occurrence, and that she was hiding it from me. I then decided to take action. I unlocked her phone and could see that there were lots of messages from this guy. There were also regular phone calls for weeks that I had no knowledge of. I didn't have time to read them really, but I knew something was up. I then took her phone and copied the messages and sent to myself so I could check them in detail. I felt really guilty with this, and it took me a few attempts before I could actually go through with it, as I felt like it was wrong. The messages were clearly very flirty, and it was a clear emotional affair, but there were parts which were on Snapchat and also parts which had clearly been deleted. With the information I had, I decided to confront my wife. She admitted it was inappropriate but said it was just good friends and that there was no romance. I asked her if it was anything more, if there were any photo exchanges or physical encounters. I told her to look up what an emotional affair was, and she conceded that it was inappropriate. I asked her again if there was anything more, and she said no. She didn't know that I had seen her messages on her phone. I asked if I could look, and she said if I wanted to, but there might be hurtful things about me on there. So we left it at that, and I said if she wants it to work, she has to be honest and tell me if there is anything else. I left it a couple of days and spoke to her. She said that she had contacted the guy and said they couldn't talk anymore and to have no contact for a while. I asked her why she didn't speak to me about this first, and she said because she thought I needed space. I said, do you not think I might have wanted to be involved in that and that I might not want her to speak to him ever? She said she thought I might say that. I then reiterated how if there is any chance of reconciliation. I needed her to be honest, and she said she was. I then said that I wanted to look at her phone. I went through and showed her messages and grilled her. She admitted to sending suggestive photos on Snapchat, but said she sent nothing more explicit and that there had been no physical sexual contact. I then showed her more messages and grilled her more, and she admitted to having sex with this man. She said it was just once. I asked her to be honest, and she said she was. I then showed her more messages on her own phone, and she admitted to sending nudes and to masturbating on Snapchat with him. She still said she only met him for sex once. After some more interrogation, she admitted to a second time and that they had planned to meet another time, but he got too drunk. The most recent time they had sex was very recently, and my wife assured me that she had used a condom. However, before this, we also found out that we were pregnant. I say we. The condition date, according to the pregnancy test, puts the conception near to the date she had sex with this guy. I obviously have found this very difficult, and so had she. It's probably worse for her at the moment. I'm currently handling it quite well considering. I'm not sure what the future holds, and I have no idea how to manage it. We are going to speak with a professional, and I have had thoughts about getting a paternity test for my existing daughter, who I love with all my heart, and I hate myself for even considering taking this action. I also have considered a prenatal paternity test, although whatever the result, I would still intend to support my wife as I don't want any risk or negative effect to come to my daughter. This is making me feel very anxious at potentially wasting a year or so of my life. I want to be open to repair and build a new relationship with my wife, but I also know I deserve better. I know a marriage is about making the other person the best they can, and I do try to do this, and still want my wife to thrive and heal whatever we do, and despite what had happened. I do still love her. The main reason I would like to see if it can work is for my daughter. But I understand that even if we both genuinely try, it might not. I know this is a long message, and thank you to anyone reading and offering any constructive comments or wishes. The comments. Observer. Man, you are the one in the best position to make a judgment about leave or stay. Listen to all the input, but parse it very thoughtfully to distill the most useful. Do not feel any guilt for anything you have done to catch your wife, and definitely get both paternity tests. So, 2 questions. Has your wife given you any reason why she did this, and what is the story with the POS best friend? How do you not want to rip him a new one? I tell you so many stories. So many stories on here about so-called male friends of wives. Same with female best friends of husbands. Ever a good idea in my opinion, but I know I will get criticism for that opinion. Best wishes whichever way you go. Unfortunately, it's your daughter that will be hurt in the end. You and your wife can build another sandcastle, but your daughter thinks it's a real foundation and will be devastated when a light breeze comes and crashes it all down. Your wife is a selfish and unkind coward, putting her wants above her own child. She only protects and prioritizes herself. That isn't going to change by you looking the other way. Sorry to my fellow Redditors, as I post this frequently. It reads, "We've a cheater. Gain a life's and everything on the Chump Lady website. John, read up on privacy versus secrecy in a marriage." You had every right to go on her phone. She was not transparent. She had stunning secrets. You get privacy when you're going to the bathroom. You never get secrecy in a marriage, which destroys trust. This version of her is not worthy of you. The old version that you loved is gone, sadly. She put you and your daughter's health at stake from COVID to RSV to cities. See an attorney. Do what they say. Kick her out if you can. Separate your finances. Cancel credit cards if joint. Protect your savings and retirement. Get a co-parent app and gray rock her, then block her everywhere. Don't let her control the dialogue with friends and relatives. Call her out. Tell them all what she has done. Of course, paternity test. Damn, exercise and eat right. Always be calm and loving with your daughter. Sure, maybe you'd have a good relationship until she inevitably cheats again. It's what broken people do. Then you'll have wasted even more years of your life. This person is no longer someone you can trust. Then, your wife isn't who you thought she was. She blew you off a year ago when you brought this up. Hire a PI and he will find out she's been having this affair for a longer time than you think. Know the facts. Get a paternity test for your daughter to at least know, and also for the unborn child. Do not raise a child that isn't yours. The mental anguish will never end. Seek legal advice immediately and separate. She moves out until you get this figured out. Dear listeners, please like and subscribe to our channel. It stimulates me to release new videos for you.